coming up at 5.
Hey Cassandra, tonight at 5 we have a terrible story. Shot while driving down a highway right here in the metro.
Tonight, a man's story of survival.
I was telling my cousin that I couldn't feel my legs.
A terrifying situation. Tonight, this man's search for justice and his message for the shooter. And an Oklahoma sheriff badly hurt during a chase, plus shutdown showdown. The president at the White House waiting on lawmakers to come back. It's all right now at 5.
You're watching Oklahoma's News 4 at 5.
Caught in the crossfire.
An Oklahoma City man says he and his family were targeted, one of the bullets leaving him paralyzed.
News 4's Jessica Bruno has his story of faith along with a message for the shooter. That's new at 5.
I thought I was gonna die. I was going in and out of consciousness.
Trey Hines remembers that day well. His life was forever changed in a matter of seconds.
I was driving the car. We were making conversation. And next thing I know, I started hearing gunshots, and I was hit in the back.
According to the police report, one of Hines' passengers, a family member, told officers she heard approximately 8 gunshots coming from the driver's side of their vehicle. Police later finding 4 to 5 bullet holes in the driver's side.
I was telling my cousin that I couldn't feel my legs.
In the middle of the busy interstate, once Hines realized she had been shot, both he and his cousin had to do some quick thinking.
And I was telling him that he had to reach over and hit the brakes so the car would come to a stop, which he did. And at that point, he put me over in the passenger seat, and we took off and went to the hospital.
Hines says that bullet hit his shoulder and was lodged in his spine, fracturing his ribs. He was in the ICU for 2 weeks.
As you can see, I've been placed in a wheelchair, which I have limited function. But it has forever changed my outlook on life. I value it more than I have ever.
Miraculously, Hines is slowly starting to walk on his own with a cane or walker, but his medical bills now over $200,000, creating a big financial burden. Somehow, though, even through the stress and the pain, his message for the person who fired those shots.
I don't have any malice. I'm one of those people that are grounded in faith, so I've already have forgiven the person.
In Northeast Oklahoma City, Jessica Bruno, Oklahoma's News 4.
He sure has a great attitude. Hines tells us police have made an arrest. We're waiting on more information about that person. You'll find a link to Hines' GoFundMe page over at KFOR.com.
New tonight, the Cotton County Sheriff is in an Oklahoma City hospital tonight. Kent Simpson was injured early this morning when he crashed while chasing a suspect in a stolen car. Troopers say his car hit 2 trees in the process. Simpson was flown to a hospital in Oklahoma City where he is currently listed in serious condition. A report out from the Highway Patrol says Simpson was not wearing a seatbelt. As for the cause of the crash, that is still under investigation tonight.
Now, first weather from the Forewarned Storm Team.
And good evening to you. We have some great travel weather conditions this evening ongoing, no problems whatsoever. Santa, no problems getting to Oklahoma tonight. Let's see what's going on. Some mid and high level clouds spreading across our skies this afternoon. Gusty winds out of the south. Temperatures above average for this time of year, low to mid 50s. Right now here in central Oklahoma. Most of the state right now, temperatures are into the 50s. It's 54 right now in Gage, 56 in Altus, Lawton Fort Sill area, middle 50s as well. Ardmore at 57. You folks around Stillwater right now at 54 degrees. Some mid and high level clouds rapidly pushing from west to east across our state. They're clearing out right now. So it looks like a nice evening in the forecast this evening. There's our next storm system. Rain is likely here tomorrow night, Wednesday into Thursday. So let's enjoy the weather right now. By 10 p.m., temperatures settling back into the 40s. A weak front moving into northwestern Oklahoma. Partly cloudy skies. Looking really good for just about anything outside this evening. I'll be back with that 7-day plus 4 more. That's coming up.
We'll see you then, John. Thank you. Well, even on this Christmas Eve, President Trump facing another tumultuous week with parts of the government gone dark, financial markets in a tailspin, and now a sudden move by the president to cut short the tenure of his defense secretary, James Mattis. Here's NBC's Jeff Bennett with more details.
This morning, President Trump is abruptly pushing out his defense secretary ahead of schedule, announcing in a tweet he's replacing Jim Mattis at the start of the new year, 2 months earlier than planned. Two senior administration officials tell NBC News Mattis learned of his new end date Sunday in a phone call from Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, rather than from the president himself. Mr. Trump grew frustrated, according to several administration sources, by reports which painted Mattis as the last adult in the room. Mattis portrayed as the cabinet member capable of reining in Mr. Trump's impulses. Mattis's replacement, Deputy Secretary of Defense Patrick Shanahan, a former Boeing executive who joined the administration in 2017. It comes as the government shutdown enters day 3. As a congressional compromise remains out of reach. Newly appointed acting White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney offering his prediction on how long it might last.
I think that is, it's very possible that this shutdown will go beyond the 28th and into the new Congress.
The Senate gavelled into session on Saturday, but with no deal in sight, adjourned until Thursday, ensuring the shutdown drags past Christmas.
60 votes in the Senate, majority in the House, and President Trump's signature. That's what will end this regrettable episode.
The stalemate hinging on funding for Trump's signature campaign promise, a southern border wall. The White House has dropped down from its $5 billion demand for border security money, hoping Democrats move up from their $1.3 billion counteroffer. Democrats are dug in.
So the Trump shutdown isn't over border security. It's because President Trump is demanding billions of dollars for an expensive, ineffective wall.
Government workers caught in the middle of the standoff.
We're at their mercy at this point.
That was Jeff Bennett reporting. Earlier today, the president tweeted out that he was in the White House waiting on Democratic lawmakers to come back to Washington.
Hey, Abby, from the Sky Center tonight, stocks taking another big tumble. This is the worst day of Christmas Eve trading ever. The Dow dropped by 653 points to below 22,000. The S&P and the Nasdaq also sliding downward, and you might have guessed it, one of the contributing factors is all of the turmoil in Washington. President Trump attacked the Fed, tweeting today that the central bank is the only problem with the U.S. economy. He said they don't have a feel for the market. Also today, actor Kevin Spacey is now facing charges for sexual assault. The Boston Globe is reporting that Spacey is due in a Nantucket District Court on January 7th. The criminal complaint alleges Spacey sexually assaulted the teenage son of former Boston TV news anchor Heather Unruh at a Nantucket restaurant in July of 2016. Not long after the Boston Globe published its story about the criminal complaint, Spacey posted a video on YouTube where he appears to be in character as Frank Underwood from House of Cards. In that video, he says, "You wouldn't believe the worst without evidence, would you?" In a previous statement about a different sexual misconduct allegation, Spacey said, "I know that there are some stories out there about me and that some have been fueled by the fact that I've been so protected of my privacy." And that's a look at the news from the Sky Center. Abby, back to you.
All right, Eli, thank you. And on this Christmas Eve, we are tracking Santa Claus. That is the NORAD Santa tracker. Earlier, he was in Spain, then Tunisia at last check, and now he is headed to Algeria. Has all those toys for all the kiddos around the world. At some point, we'll make it, of course, here into Oklahoma. And it'll be a great Christmas morning as all those kids open the presents, best part of this time of year.
Except for the naughty kids, because it may not be so good.
It might be some coal. I mean, we weren't going to talk about that, Eli, but that's it. You can track Santa on the website, on our website, KFOR.com. Well, a tale of Christmas past.
And it's all from when times were a little easier and the gifts a little different.
Next, Galen Culver is going back in time, reaching into his vault for a Christmas classic that will sure put a smile on your face. That's next.
Is This a Great State or What? Is sponsored by MeQ.
Welcome back. Chances are pretty strong that you didn't ask Santa for the same toys your parents did or what your kids might be asking for this year.
In December 1993, Galen Culver headed out to Penn Square Mall to eavesdrop on what kids were asking for that year. Here's where it gets interesting because now we're a quarter century later and the answers, well, here they are.
Well, I tell you what, Santa will be coming to your house on Christmas Eve.
He can be found miraculously enough at most busy shopping malls right up until Christmas time.
You can come back and visit with me again sometime.
Yeah. This one at Penn Square Mall even has a real beard.
How old are you?
7.
And during the past couple of years, we've asked him to let us eavesdrop on what children are asking for.
Easy bake oven and a fur, a kitty that purrs. I want baby giggle and go. Baby doll car, a baby doll.
A baby doll?
And a baby doll.
You want a baby doll too? Do you know anything that Ryan wants for Christmas?
He wants ball.
He wants a ball?
He likes balls every time.
Does he?
That's all I want. A pop gun, but I want a lot more.
Oh, you want a pop gun, but you want a lot more too.
Yeah. I want a bow and arrow.
You could use one front tooth.
Yeah.
Santa will see thousands of children before the 25th, most of them true believers.
And you know what? I was going to give you
No.
balloons.
Some others who don't really know what's going on yet.
To see Santa. I've got my list.
And a few others who do know the score, but are hedging their bets, just in case.
In Oklahoma City, Galen Culver, News 4.
Do elves print money?
Is this a great state or what?
I think right around that time I was getting a Talk Boy from Home Alone 2. Do you remember that?
I do remember that. And I remember going to Penn Square Mall about that age. Now
You were
it
probably
terrifies
interviewed in the
me.
piece, yeah?
Yeah, I was the one with probably the big bangs and the big hair. That was me.
Yeah, exactly. 1993.
Yeah.
Wow.
And most of the
25
kids in
years
that
ago.
story, you have to be around 30 right now.
Yeah.
Some probably with kids of their own, maybe asking for a little bit of different gifts this year.
Yeah, there are a lot of tech gifts that are out, really cool stuff. But I think for the weather guy, you probably want something for you and the way that you predict the weather, all of that stuff, right?
Oh, John's
What's your
getting
weather gift?
cold.
The Inceptor.
John's getting cold
The
this year. What are you
Inceptor.
talking about?
One of my best Christmas presents when I was a little kid, a NOAA weather radio.
Nice.
That would be your favorite, John.
That was it.
Nerd alert.
You know where that was going. Exactly. All right, we got some nice weather heading into Christmas. Big wet storm going out of Christmas. Details straight ahead.
Now, forewarned weather with John Slater.
And welcome back, everyone. Let's take a look outside right now. Fantastic Christmas Eve day today, turning into a wonderful Christmas Eve. Those high clouds kind of scooting off to the east. Let's jump right into the forecast for Christmas Day. I can't wait for Christmas morning. I want to unwrap my NOAA weather radio tomorrow morning. 35, partly cloudy at 6 a.m. By lunchtime, about 50, increasing cloud cover. I think it becomes cloudy by late afternoon, 4 p.m. here in the metro, about 55 degrees, but rain holds off until tomorrow night. That's the good news. All right, check out our time lapse. Some mid and high level clouds whipping through our skies today. Wonderful, wonderful day today. Right now it's a little chilly, but we'll take it. 51. South wind's a little breezy. Skies becoming clear right now. Temperatures here in central Oklahoma from about 50 to about 54 degrees. That's above average for this time of year. Our average high right around 49. 51 in Tulsa, 52 Ada, 54 Gage, 56 right now down around the Altus area. There go the clouds pushing rapidly off to the east. So nice weather for Santa Claus coming to town this evening, no doubt about it. But here is our next storm system right here, finally making landfall, you could say, across western sections of the country. Northern California, powerful upper-level storm system. Let's track it with a jet stream. Here it comes right towards Oklahoma. Rain develops tomorrow night, gets heavy at times. Wednesday night rapidly ends by early Thursday morning. That system moves away. We clear out, turn colder behind it Thursday into Friday. Then late Friday into Saturday, a little piece of jet stream energy hanging back. That could move on through and squeeze out a little bit of light snow and flurries, especially southwestern Oklahoma on Saturday. Does not look like a big deal. Here's the big deal. The heavy rain coming in tomorrow night, Wednesday into early Thursday. Widespread 1-inch totals, a few areas up around 2 inches of rain. We'll have some thunderstorms as well as that rapidly moves on through. The snow stays well off to our north and west. It's not going to be a white Christmas here, but check out this band of snow. Eastern Colorado, far western, northwestern Kansas, up through Nebraska, South Dakota. Heavy snow and blowing snow here. So if you're traveling north and west, definitely some big-time travel issues here. But we're just getting rain here across the southern plains of Oklahoma. So 10 o'clock this evening. Check this out. Weak front pushing into northwestern Oklahoma. At 10 p.m., temperatures slowly cooling back down into the 40s, partly cloudy skies, a light breeze, so no problems for anything outside. Santa coming this evening, no doubt about it. And then tomorrow morning, that front stalls south and east of Oklahoma City. This is Christmas morning. Some low clouds, fog, and drizzle in southeastern Oklahoma tomorrow morning in the 40s. Behind the front from Oklahoma City north and west, some drier air, north breeze, 20s and 30s, partly cloudy skies. That's how we start early tomorrow morning, opening up those presents. And then Christmas afternoon, mostly cloudy skies, temperatures rebounding into the 50s. With an east breeze, that front falls apart, and some light rain and drizzle developing in southern Oklahoma, and that spreads north into Oklahoma during tomorrow night. So we start out kind of cold, chilly tomorrow morning in the 30s with some sunshine, then becoming cloudy during the afternoon, 55 here in the metro. Rain develops during the evening, comes in heavy at times late tomorrow night, rainy and windy, some thunderstorms around Wednesday, 57 degrees, 1 to 2 inches of rain. The rain ends early Thursday morning. We clear out, turn colder, start out in the 50s, fall into the 40s. The colder air is here Friday, Saturday, only 30s during the afternoon, teens and 20s at night. We could squeeze out a little bit of light snow and flurries on Saturday, no big deal. And sunny and cold on Sunday, about 37. Briefly warm up to 47 for the last day of 2018. So it looks pretty good for ringing in the new year, Monday night. But then on New Year's Day, another Arctic blast. Looking at latest data, the coldest air of the season so far coming in the first week of January. Could have some winter precip with that front as well. We're talking about a Siberian Express.
That is some dramatic stuff.
Express.
Really cold.
Hey, I got a question for you. How did that weather radio go over in the middle school cafeteria? Because it seems like that could be a bit dicey.
He was sitting by himself, Eli. I mean, with his weather radio
I was
by
the
himself.
man. They liked it. Yeah, I was big. Yeah, big time. Yeah.
And that's when he came out with the Slater Raider, right?
Well, it wasn't just weather radio had everything on. All those little gadgets like AM, FM radio, back in the 70s.
Yeah.
We're talking 70s here.
Well,
I'm an old guy.
this is how it turns out. I can't say it with my talk boy, There's no room for me to criticize here, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Dreams come true, and here he is.
Indeed. Up next, the Thunder are back on the road on Christmas Day after a very tough loss last night.
And while OSU is getting ready to leave for their bowl game, the Sooners are already in South Florida getting ready for the Orange Bowl against goes to Alabama. You'll hear from both of our state's teams next on Oklahoma's News 4.
Better than video games.
100%. You use your mind. Yeah.
One, two, three. OU and Alabama getting ready for the Orange Bowl.
I hope it came across as funny and not making too much fun of John.
Now, sports with Brian Brinkley.
It's game week for Oklahoma's football team, but this is no ordinary game or ordinary game week. The Sooners are just 5 days away from facing Alabama in the Orange Bowl in the college football playoff semifinal. The Sooners arrived in South Florida last night, greeted by the familiar orange jackets of the Orange Bowl committee and a fleet of buses to transport the team, staff, and family members to their hotel. Now it's time for on-site preparations for the #1 Crimson Tide and a chance to make the national championship game.
Yeah, they're excited. They're excited. I think you get to play a great team. You get to play the national semifinal. You get to play in the Orange Bowl. I mean, that's one of the reasons you come to Oklahoma is to have a chance to win championships and put yourself in games like this and have a chance to win national championships. So, I mean, we're excited, but it's also where we expect it to be.
Alabama arrived today. We'll hear from them at 6. Oklahoma State may be playing in the Liberty Bowl against Missouri on New Year's Eve, but the Cowboys are not getting liberty from practicing on Christmas Day. OSU's players are scheduled to leave for Memphis tomorrow and then practice once they get there.
We report Christmas Eve, not Christmas Day Eve. That late afternoon is kind of when the bowl wants us to be there. They will report later that day. So we always have a present for them. We're going to practice that night and get a workout in, and then Rob Glass always runs them the day they report. So that's what we're going to do for them. It's really special.
Merry Christmas, Cowboys. The Oklahoma City Thunder lost at home to Minnesota last night, 114-112. Alex Abrinas had a chance to give the Thunder the lead with 10 seconds left, but he missed a wide-open three-pointer off a pass from Russell Westbrook. The OKC coach, though, liked what Russ did on the play.
To me, that was a great basketball play. You know, you got a great shooter above the break and wide open, and you know it's been twice he's done that. He did it in New Orleans, I think, was the other game. So yeah, I mean that was the right play. And what you want to do in that situation is get off a really good shot, and we got a good shot off.
Just a little bit out. Oklahoma's men's basketball team is ranked for the first time this season. The Sooners are 25th in this week's Associated Press poll released today. OU is 11-1. They've won 7 games in a row. We're back with more after this.
Mine's been like through the ringer. It was nice when I first got it. But,
Well, you're a law student. What do you have?
I've had it for years. That's it for us tonight at 5.
NBC Nightly News starts now.